Alright, familia, in this webinar, in this masterclass, we're gonna run over what I like to call self-motivation. And self-motivation is what I believe is one of the most important skills to have in 2021. There are a lot of things happening in the world. There are a lot of things happening. The world is upside down, but we are at least moving in the right direction right now. We're at least moving in the right direction. We can see the light in the end of the tunnel, so to say. And I'm constantly talking about discipline. So first thing I wanted to do is just to make some clarifications between the difference between discipline and self-motivation. All right? Discipline is what, by definition, I keep saying this over and over again, right? Discipline means doing what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to be doing it, whether you feel like it or not. So that's a skill. Like being disciplined, that's more of a lifestyle. That's a lifestyle, that's a characteristic, that's something you become. Self-motivation, or motivation in this case, that's a state. That's something that you put yourself into. It's a feeling. All right? Thumbs up if this ain't making sense. If you don't have your camera on, you just type 1 in the chat because I need this to be interactive. All right? And there is moments when you need to have that skill in order to self-motivate yourself, right? And I'm not only talking about dancing right now. I'm talking about when you need to get it done, when you need to actually do your workout, when you need to close the deal if you're working in sales, when you need to show up for yourself, when you need to go and have a presentation, when you need to go and do something when you don't have you're already there. You're gonna do the work, you know the work needs to be done, but you don't feel like doing it. But you need to self-motivate yourself to get you into that state. All right? And we are constantly in today's society, I believe we're constantly faced with different situations that we need this now more than ever. I believe we need this now more than ever to be able to control your state, to be able to control your internal world, no matter what's happening in the external, to be proactive and have the ability to get shit done. That's so important. Like I'm trying to find a way to express it differently, but if you decide to never master this skill, the things we're gonna run over today, you leave tons of progress on the table. You leave tons of progress on the table. You will never you will have so much untapped potential. So much potential inside of all of you. And this is one of the things I keep saying to my students. Inside of my inner circle, we're talking about, I'm not saying that we don't need to reinvent you. We need to go back and bring out the old you. Because somewhere along the line, we lost track of who you actually are. Right? Some of us need to reinvent a new you. You need to go into a new edition of yourself. But for some of us, we just need to be reminded of how fucking awesome we are. Some of us need to be reminded of yourself, how incredible you as a person are. And if you never master this skill of self-motivation, you will never become the best version of yourself. I believe truly that you will never become the best version of yourself, and you will have meaningful relationships that will just diminish. Right? And if you're new to this webinar, you might hear me curse once or twice. All right? It is what it is. All right? I can't change it. It is who I am. Like I want to get my point across. You listen to my point more than to my words sometimes. All right? If you don't understand, we're gonna talk about some deep things today. We're constantly gonna talk about some deep things. So if you're operating on level 0, today I ask you to dive deep. So if I'm saying something as in like untapped potential, like you won't become the best version of yourself, really try to overstand me. Don't try to understand me. Don't see it as here. See it from above and looking down. Look at the broader perspective of the picture that I'm trying to paint here. All right? So this is half coaching seminar, half philosophy. All right? But I'm promising you by the end of it, it's all gonna make sense. All right? And I'm certain that if you get this right, and you start to understand if you really start to understand the self-motivation mastering, how you can become the best version of yourself in these specific situations, you'll have a lot more quality in your life. The quality of your life will become higher. I'm certain that you will actually live longer. Longevity, and I'm talking about literally years in your life. If you start to be able to control your own state, the things that is happening up here, regardless of what's happening in the external world, I'm certain that you will live longer and have a lot more quality of life. All right? The next thing is that you will also accomplish a lot more. You will be able to accomplish a lot more, which means that you will get results faster. So you will be more proactive, be more productive, have more time with your family. So what we're going to talk about here does not only apply to your dancing, it does not only apply to your mind, to your work, to your business, it applies to your entire life. And I apologize because I see that my camera is acting up a little bit. And it looks all right. Yeah. So if you guys are ready to accomplish more in your life, to get more done, reach your goals faster, have more quality of life, give me a thumbs up or write number 1 in the chat. Write number 1 in your chat if you're ready to rock and roll with me. Monica is ready. I see Christina is ready. Here we go. I'm going to do something that we usually don't do. I'm going to draw today. So I'm going to shut off my camera. Boom. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to share my whiteboard. Guys, familia, I need you to give me a... Everybody can see my... you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Here we go. I believe that in order... And again, guys, before I do anything, when you see me drawing, I'm certain that some of you guys will say, God damn, Sebastian,
Picasso.
Why didn't you become a professional artist? Why didn't you draw the beautiful painting that is behind Matilda in her living room? And I can honestly tell you that that was a choice of mine. I just chose to go down a different route in life, all right? So here we go. Let's jump into it, all right? let's jump into it. I just chose a different route in life. Here we go. I believe there are 3 different types of people when it comes to the self-motivation triad. All right, we talk a little bit about some of these things in my ebook that I launched the other week. But in this class, we're gonna dive deeper into it, and we're gonna make sure that we uncover some of the things that we need in order for you to move on to the next level, right? First thing, first characteristic. What just happened? First characteristic of a person is the person that I call the just enough. I suggest that if you're watching this, you take some notes. The just enough character. The just enough character, if you're watching this, you are the just enough. If you believe that this is you, these 2 things that we're going to run over now or these 3 characteristics are characteristics or traits that are inside of your character. The just enough character never really push the limit. So if you are the just enough character, so what we're gonna do now, this is you, and then we run over 3 things that are traits of yours, and then we will run over what we actually need to do to change that. So this type of character is the person that is, you go to class, maybe you're taking 2-3 training classes. Let's use training as an example. You take 2 or 3 training classes per week, maybe, but you're doing just enough. You're not, you're not pushing the limit. You're not making sure to actually use the principle of progressive overload. You're not going heavier week by week. You're there, you show up. You're doing just enough for yourself to become or to be who you are. You're not losing weight, you're not gaining weight, you're in limbo state. So you're not pushing the limits. You also are hiding, you hide behind momentum. And what I mean with that is that hiding behind momentum is that, like I said, you are there. You go to class, but you're doing just enough to get through. You show up, but if momentum takes away from you, it's really, really hard for yourself to get that self-motivation, right? You're not pushing the limits because you're not motivated. You're hiding behind momentum. And if people look into your life and saying, but you're an active person, you're training 3 days per week, you're a good salesman or a saleswoman, you're closing most of the deals, but you're a great entrepreneur or you're a great mother, you are, fill in the blanks. However, it's the momentum that you already got going on in your sales that is the reason that why you are where you are. You're not really pushing the limits. Why? Because you never get challenged. You never accept or you never do your own challenge. Never get challenged. Like I said, my spelling, don't worry about it. As long as you understand me, as long as my points get across, that's all we care about today. So the just enough character, the person who is operating here, never challenges herself, hides behind momentum, never pushes the limit, never not pushing the limit. If you can relate to this type of character, type number 1 in the chat right now. If this is somebody you know, or if this is yourself, type number 1 in the chat right now. Let me see, David, who's writing number 1?
We have Evo. Martina says she can't see the screen. Is that for everyone or no? People writing 1. Laura, Havka, Daniel, Raluca, Monica, Viola.
Perfect.
Maybe 1. See the others.
But the majority of you guys, you can see the screen, right? Nod your head aggressively if you can see the screen.
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. Awesome. So we have the number 1 character. And if this is you, don't even worry about it. By the end of this call, we will have some clarity for you and how for you gonna self-motivate. And if this is somebody in your team, if you're leading a team, this is somebody in your family, we're gonna uncover all of that, right? But let's move on to the next one. The next one is the person that I like to call the victim. And guys, if you have any questions, which I'm pretty certain that you will have by the end of this webinar,
so write them in the chat.
Write them in the chat.
I bring them up,
and
we will take them in the end.
We will talk about them later, unless it's something that's really relevant about that exact question, right? Then we have the victim. The victim is the type of person that life doesn't happen for you, it happens to you. Is the type, and I've been guilty of this for so long. Guys, I remember there were times in my life where I used to I used to wake up, or I used to see other people. I used to wake up in the morning and just feeling, why am I where I am today? And not taking any action on things to become better. Life was happening to me. Life was not happening for me. And I was constantly in a state of, why am I here? Why why is this happening to me? Why am I feeling like this? So it was a victim state of mind. So if this is you, the game you're playing is what I like to call the blame game. And the blame game means that you're constantly blaming everybody else. You're not taking responsibility of the things that is happening to your life. I am like this because of the society. I can't lose weight because of my medical situation. I can't train because I don't have time. I can't do this because fill in the blanks, right? I think we all know that character, and I think we all have been playing this exact game at least once or twice in our life. And with that character, the victim character, it's also, it just doesn't own anything. It doesn't own any of her wins. She doesn't own any of her struggles. She doesn't own any of her losses, because things are happening to her, not for her. So the victim is not only the victim when it's a loss, it's also the victim when it's a win. Because the victim, it's a state of mind. Like this is characteristics that we're talking about, right? So it becomes like, yeah, but so if you win, if you make a win, for example, maybe you closed the deal, maybe you did a great show, maybe you did something that stood out. But because you don't own anything, you don't take any ownership, that doesn't get celebrated. So it's like, yeah, but you did such a great job, congratulations. Well, I could have done better, or, like I messed up here, or, well, thank you, but, or, so it's the doesn't own is in wins and in losses. All right? This is the victim mentality, the victim type of state. Again, you can jump in between these two different states. They're going to be three by the end of it, but you can jump in between. You can be what I call a flexitarian. You're jumping in between. Not only a victim, but sometimes you're just not enough. Sometimes you're dealing in the victim. The victim also has self-betrayal. And what I mean with that is, this is the type of person, and again, it sounds pretty harsh, right? But I'd rather be the coach that gives it to you the way I see a world and the way we can address it. Because if we can address it together, we can do something about it. So self-betrayal becomes like, yeah, but I broke my diet for the 365th time this year, but I can start again on Monday. Or I was supposed to train today, but I start on Monday. Yeah, but on Monday I'm really gonna start. Give me a thumbs up right now if you can relate to that character.
Jahara says, dang, coach is going deep today.
I told you guys that today we're gonna dive. We're diving today, so make sure to take some deep breaths, because we're gonna dive deep. Bring your scuba tubes, bring your snorkel. If you got those things you put on your feet when you're diving, put them on.
Yeah, I can see both types at the moment.
Good.
Yep, people are agreeing to this.
Fantastic, all right? So, again, self-betray is one of the biggest things here. And it's so easy to do and it's so dangerous to do, because when you do it, it becomes a habit. It becomes a habit, and this type of character is the one who constantly start things. The victim mentality is an expert in starting things, but never finishing things. The just enough is cruising. The just enough is kind of on cruise control and cruising through life. But the victim mentality is the one who loves to start things, but never finish it. Never finish it. Why? No, but I tried this diet, but like it wasn't for me. Or I tried this coach, but it didn't work for me. Or I had this relationship, but it wasn't fitting in. This is the victim mentality. Moving on. And don't worry, I'm not only going to point out what is what, I'm also going to give some solid tips afterwards and map out some strategies in order for you to get more self-motivated with this type of character. Here we go. We also, third thing, so we have number 1, which was the just enough. Number 1. We have number 2, who is the victim, and then number 3 is going to be what I call the needy. The needy. And the needy one, oh, that was not right. I can do better than that. That was, give me 1 second here, guys. I'm gonna try to draw a nice line for you. That's the best I got. That's the best I got. But the needy one is the type of character that is constantly in need of confirmation, that is constantly in need of being with someone, doesn't take ownership, only work when somebody else is working with him. So the needy one, the first one is going to be obvious. It need others. Yeah, but Coach Sebastian, you're constantly talking about the community and our importance of community. Yeah, I know. But you need to be able to take control of yourself. You need to be able to have the skill to go to work. You need to be able to have the skill of putting in the work, regardless if somebody is watching or not. Because the things you do in private are the things that you'll be praised for in public. The things or the work that you do in private are the things that you'll be praised for in public. So if you're constantly needing others to light your fire, you will never get to that next level. You will get left behind. You will never reach your own potential. This is the type of person that is only training if her accountability partner is training. This is the type of person who is only happy if another person is happy. Right? If the other person is sad, you'll be sad. If the other person is happy, you'll be happy. Why? Because you can't light your own fire. You can't light your own fire. Constantly depending on others. Constantly being there to asking for, how do you say, not asking for permission, but like asking for acceptance of others. And others in this case can be your family. It can be the people in your community. It can be your coach. I have some students that are like this. I've been like this. I have students who are training with me. They've been training with me. So if you're in my inner circle, right? And if this is you as my student, I'm not picking on you. Just know that we can do better together. All right. So we have students who've been training with us for years. Years. You've been in my inner circle for years. And if your workout, so they have different calendars. They have their own calendars inside of the application. So in the inner circle, I bought my own application a couple of years ago, and there you have all the workouts. My work is to map out everything. I map out the workouts. I map out the different mindset things. But if you've been training consistently every Thursday for the last year, and on one particular Thursday there is no workout, the needy one doesn't light her own fire, and need others will just wait and say, you know what, coach didn't give me a workout today, so I'm not gonna do anything. That is not how it is. My job is obviously to provide you with a workout, but there will be times where you need to be able to light your own fire. Take ownership in this. Is this making sense? I'm asking if this is making sense, but I don't even have my screen up, so I don't even know. Yeah,
Daniel said yes.
Danny says yes. I see some thumbs up. Perfect. Because here's the thing, right? Guess what? We've been training every Thursday for 1 year together. I've always given you a workout. Next Thursday, you didn't get a workout because I messed up. Guess what you were supposed to be doing? Train, obviously. But I think that makes total sense. And the needy one is constantly struggling with accountability. The needy one is constantly struggling with accountability. Constantly struggling with it. Not only towards yourself, but also struggling with accountability towards others. This is the type of person that says something, but your word doesn't have any value. The type of character that is saying like, I get it done to you by Thursday. And then Thursday come and you approach that character and says, hey champ, what's happening? Like that project, that you said you're gonna finish by Thursday, where is it? Yeah, like this and this and this happened. So the needy one felt that she could just jump straight here to the victim. Yeah, but it wasn't my fault because blah 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 blah. The blame game happened. And then when the needy one is now in the victim character, she's saying, yeah, but coach is always so angry at me. I'm always doing good. Like this is the first time I'm missing something. So you can see we jump in between all three, right? And it's also struggling with accountability towards herself. And struggling with your own accountability is the biggest thing. Because again, the things you do in private are the things you'll get praised for in public.
The needy one, do they see themselves as team players and sometimes maybe hide behind that?
Exactly.
Like team player?
Exactly. The needy one is like, yeah, but I'm a team player. I'm a team player. Like, I work best in team and and that's true. That's true. But an excuse is not always an excuse is not true. You are a team player. The needy one is probably a team player.
Yeah.
But we're talking about self-motivation right now. We're talking to be able to self-motivate yourself, right? So even if you're a team player, even if you're great in team, there will still be times when you need to be able to light your own fire, right? And I mean, let's take some examples here. Let's take some examples when we're watching. It's like we have Erlinda who is watching. Erlinda is constantly waking up dead early in the morning, doing serious kettlebell workouts, then commute to work. It's like nobody's watching when she's doing that. So she needs to have the skills to hold herself accountable. Cristina, who's watching, she lives in Barcelona right now. Nobody's applauding for her when she's pursuing her dream of becoming an even more professional dancer. There's nobody who's applauding. She's there by herself doing her workouts. And I'm not gonna share her story, but she can share it by herself. But where you've been compared to where you are now, it's just night and day. And if you were constantly not taking ownership in that, if you never took ownership in the thing that happened to you and decided in your mind to say, you know what, fuck that. This is not how my life is gonna play out. I'm the owner. I own this. That's self-motivation. That's self-motivation right there. Then after, of course, you need to be disciplined to be able to continue this habit. But there are times where you need to light your own fire. And if you are constantly in the needy state, constantly needing validation and confirmation of others, you will never reach your fullest potential. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And we're all, again, you can be a flexitarian in this. You know, you can be a flexitarian, so you can jump on, and in one conversation you can go from needy to victim to just good enough. Am I making any sense right now? Am I making any sense? Yeah. So what has been the most valuable so far? I know we only ran over it, but I want to create clarity before we dive into the what is actually works here. What has been the most helpful? Type it in the chat. What has been the most helpful so far?
Susie says lots. Karina say yes. Just curious, which type were you, Sebastian, before you became an expert?
Victim, super victim, and I'm gonna explain why. I'm gonna explain why after we're done with this.
Malaysia says she loves the breakdown. Viola say description of the character. I am all of those, but still type 1. Majority.
That's it. That's it. Okay, familia. And I'm gonna explain how I was number 1. All right. So here I am. Let's just take one example, and I'm gonna explain how I was definitely 1, but jumped between everyone. So let me see where I start here. So I'm 25 years old, between 25 and 27. I'm at the darkest point of my life, and I'm in bed. Let me just draw up a scenario, and you're gonna understand. I just want to create even more clarity. I'm in bed, and I'm having an anxiety attack. I just came out of an anxiety attack. For you guys who don't know, you probably know by now, but if you don't know, I dealt with anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts for years. And when I was doing that, I was here. I was living in the victim mentality. Constantly it's like, why is this happening to me? Like, I'm eating good. What am I doing? Is like, why? Like, what am I doing to deserve this? I don't deserve what's going on. I'm eating good. I'm training well. I'm a good person. Like, what is going on? So I'm jumping between all of those things. Like, this is not supposed to be me. I'm a positive character. Like, I don't deserve this. Victim. And then looking out, I was only showing people the good things in my life, because I needed others. I needed the validation. So I was constantly showing people, yeah, but I'm doing great, and dancing, and I'm modeling, and I'm dancing on the biggest stages in Scandinavia, and I have big campaigns where I'm modeling, and I'm the face of the company, and blah blah blah. Like, I'm crushing it looking outwards. Why? Because I needed the validation of others. But I was also constantly in need of, like, yeah, but what do you think about my dancing? I wrote a post about it today, and I posted on my social media. Like, I was so scared of posting my dancing. And when people told me, it's like, yeah, but, and here's the thing, if I started doing this coaching when I, or becoming this version of me that I am today, if I started that when I first came up with this guy, I'd be miles away already. But why? I was struggling with accountability. And I was already looking good, like I was already having the body that I wanted, but I was not pushing the limits. I was just hiding behind momentum because I was already dancing, I was already modeling, I was already training.
You tell yourself you're good enough already.
Exactly. So you're self-betraying yourself. But I never challenged myself. I never really challenged myself. So in one conversation, I jumped from never challenge myself. I was hiding behind momentum. I didn't push the limit. I was struggling with accountability. I couldn't light my own fire. I needed the validation of others. I was self-betraying myself constantly. I didn't own anything. And I was constantly playing the blame game. That is in one conversation with myself. Did that make sense? So I'm so aware that I'm all three. And that's why I wrote that the mindful self-motivation, the ebook. I wrote a whole ebook on this thing, and I'm basically giving it away for free just because I want people to read it. Like, I want you guys to read it. I want you to know what is what. Do we have any more questions in the chat, or should I move on?
Move on for now.
Move on. Fantastic. Here we go. Let's talk about some solutions. All right. If you're operating under the just enough mentality, we need to find a way to give you, if you're that, you're not you're hiding behind momentum, you're not challenging yourself, you're not pushing the limits. We need to find daily challenges. We need to find daily challenges for you. And what do I mean with that? So if you're operating under just enough, that means you already know the characteristics by now, but we need to find few small ways that we can make, oh, this is not what I want to do. We need to find, God damn it, we need to find ways to challenge you daily. Small challenges, small things that are like, today we need to operate under progressive overload. So we constantly need to slowly but surely make things harder.
So you don't necessarily mean an official challenge on Facebook or...
Exactly. This is not, I'm not talking about like 30-day fat loss challenge or 8 days of self-love challenge, which those ones are great every once in a while, but you can't do that all the time. Because why? If then you just went from just enough to needy. Because then you need challenges. Then you constantly need other people's challenges in order to light your own fire. So daily challenges can be like, now it's gamifying your life almost. So it's like, okay, now I did this workout. Next workout, I'm gonna do level 1 and level 2. Or tomorrow, I'm gonna drink a gallon of water. And then I'm gonna drink a gallon point 1. And then I'm gonna drink a gallon point 1.2. So you're constantly using the principle of progressive overload to make it heavier by time, heavier by time, heavier by time. Don't just dive all in. Don't just think that you're going to change like this. Progressive overload. All right? That's what we need if you're operating in the just enough. Because when you start to challenge yourself, you will understand that your momentum won't save you here. Your momentum won't save you. So we are constantly pushing the limit, but we're pushing the limit so small, so little that you can do it. So you're getting a positive feedback loop. You're getting a positive feedback loop that is like, when you win, these things happen. When you win, you get positivity and love coming out of it. So what happens is that you're moving upwards. It becomes a positive feedback loop. So we're tricking your system. Daily challenges, I promise you. Daily challenges. It's big. I'm big on that. If you guys don't know, right now I'm doing my own challenge. Why? Because I felt I was just enough. I felt I was operating just enough. I felt that, like, I was training 5-6 days per week already. I was already training 5-6 days per week, but that was just enough for me. So I felt that I had to put on some challenges for myself. I needed new challenges in order for me to get to that next level. And what I'm doing right now is that I'm doing my own challenge. I'm doing 100 days of 2 workouts every day. But that's me. That's just what I need to challenge myself, because I was just enough. Coming up next, I think that makes total sense. I felt I delivered the message. Here we go, the victim. The victim, self-betrayal, doesn't own up, constantly playing the blame game. What do we need to do with you, champ? If you're the victim, we need to give you some micro wins. Micro wins. We need to give you some micro wins where you are getting small wins, because the victim is so used to hearing that negative voice inside of his or her brain when whatever is happening, you don't own up to it. It's the blame game. That happened because of this, that happened because of that. But micro wins. So when we celebrate the micro wins, so it's not only micro wins and celebration. So it's celebrating where you are. It's celebrating who you become. It's celebrating who the small baby steps and baby progressions that you're doing. Because we need this feedback loop again. We want the upward spiral. I want something that is moving upwards. So we need wins. Oh, celebrations. And celebrations for some of us can just be an internal thing. Wins for some of us can be that I've dieted this well, so I'm gonna give myself a gift. Wins, celebrations, internal validation. And for some of us, we need external. Right? If you're the victim, we also need to teach you about extreme ownership. And what extreme ownership is that it's not only the fact that you need to understand that life is 100% in your control. The outcome of your life is 100% in your control. And what is happening to you is there because whatever decisions you made in the past. Now, of course, there are some things that is out of your control. Can't control the weather. Can't control what the government is doing at the moment. However, you can control and own how you respond to that. All right? Again, it's own. So if you have somebody in your team or somebody in your family, or you are in the victim mentality, remember that to own whatever is happening inside of your brain. Because in the victim mentality, owning or taking ownership is the biggest thing. Here we go. Do we have any questions on this?
No, I asked if anyone had any questions, but so far nothing in the chat. So I think we're good to continue. Maybe
No
you can give an
questions,
example.
just-
Daniel
sorry.
have a question.
No question. Just that I can not realize, but I can see myself in many of these points, especially this the victim, as you said, Sebastian, also went through like not anxiety but depression, and that was the thing. Also, you blame yourself for everything, even if you're doing good, you blame yourself for not doing more, not doing better,
Exactly.
not doing whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's so normal, right? And again, now when what did we need to do to get you out of anxiety, right? Like create those micro wins and like, damn, I'm doing good. Damn, I'm actually I am somebody, and that's why
Yes, exactly.
that's why we keep going.
Not start thinking big, but just small steps, and then gradually increase them. Because as you say, also every win is a win, and when you realize that, you get everything goes automatically. You become happier, and everything goes easier.
Exactly, and that's why one of many reasons why we start. Guys, let me tell me your wins. What is your wins for this week? What has been the win? I don't give a shit if it's a small win that you pet your cat today. Like something, give me something, because this might be the only time this week some of us has been sharing our wins out loud. And it's so important. It's so important. So again, you can be, some of us are the victim, some of us are constantly the needy, some of us are just enough, and some of us are schizophrenic, you know? And it's just the way it is. And some of us are jumping in between all three of them. We're sheeting with three of these characteristics in one conversation. And that is what it is. But now we have the overview and we can easier use it to our advantage.
And Erlinda saying the self-love part of your 333 daily journaling helps a lot with daily wins.
Exactly.
So if someone wants a good tool for that, check it out.
Where do they find that? On YouTube, correct?
It should be on YouTube. I think we also have it. Is it in the ebook?
It should be. It's not in the ebook, but you can find it inside of in YouTube. But you can also find it inside of our community platform.
And if not, reach out.
And if not, reach out. It cannot reach out. All right.
Thank you, Linda.
Moving on, we have the needy one. Constantly needing others. Never light your own fire. You're happy if somebody else is happy. Sad if somebody else is sad. The needy one has a tendency to hide behind, yeah, but I'm very easily affected of emotions. Now that might be right. That might be right. However, you still need to own your own shit. You still need to own your own shit. Because if you're not, you will never become the best version of yourself. So the needy one needs to truly understand that this thing called life is you versus yourself. It's you versus yourself. Nobody else is competing against you. Nobody else. My shine doesn't take away your shine. If David is winning, I'm winning. If Gatita, who's here with us today, if she's doing great, traveling the world, teaching workshops in dancing, I'm winning. The inner circle community, the dance specific training community, is only about growth. Everybody's different. Jahaira doesn't have the same goals as Erlinda. Matilda doesn't have the same goals as Larissa. David doesn't have the same goal as Klaus. But the common denominator is growth. So when we all understand that, wow, we just want to become better. We just want to grow. That's what we all want to do. then it's just you versus yourself. And if you're the needy one, to create this you versus yourself, we need to understand what metrics we are measuring. And what I mean with that is that this person, the metrics things, is we need to understand what are we doing? Like what are we measuring here? Are we measuring? Let's go with weight loss because it's super easy, right? Are we measuring the how much you actually weigh? Are we measuring your body fat index? Are we measuring your happiness levels? Or what are we measuring here? You know? And then when you have this and you start to understand that it's you against you, it's so easy to create this game. So again, you start to gamify your life. Because when you're competing against yourself, you're playing a game. And you have one thing. Every day you do 1x. Okay, today I completed the day. Bam, I completed the day. Bam, I completed the day. The only goal is to never break the chain. But in order for that we need to understand what are we measuring. Right? Self motivation. What's going on here? 1 second. Self motivation. That's what this is all about. What you guys got to say? Did we create some clarity? We created some clarity today?
Yeah, I recognize myself in everything of this. I can say like this also before the pandemic started and my depression, I always exercised or trained in the gym like 3 times a week. But after depression and so on, now I'm struggling a little bit to get into these routines that I have.
Yeah.
But once I get into it, I know that, like I said before, it will just go automatically. You don't even think about it. You just do it.
Exactly.
But before you come to that level, that's the struggle.
Exactly.
To get the routines into your life. But when everything is in place, it's like driving a car, driving a bicycle, everything.
But even when it's that, it's just like driving a car. It's just like going on autopilot. You constantly need to challenge yourself to get to that next level.
Yeah.
You constantly need to challenge yourself to get to that level because it's so fun to live life to the fullest of your potential. Trust me. And even now when I'm talking about myself right now, like I feel I'm living my dream life. But even now I'm still like, damn, there's so much more to do. There's so much more to do. There's so much fun things to get out of this thing called life. Right? Damn, I get excited just talking about it. Yes, I swear I get excited just talking about life. And if anybody have any questions on this? If anybody have any questions and don't want to share them out loud, we have something that we call our inner circle. Inside of the inner circle, it's a 16-week long program. Matilda just joined. Amalia is in it. We have Raluca is in it. Erlinda is in it. Christina has been in it. We have Kevin is in it. Who am I missing out? Susie, Samara, Ivo, Jahaira. Somebody, probably more people that I'm not saying out loud. Yvette is in it. We have people in here who has been elevating on so many levels in their life. And if you want to join, Havke is in it also, Klaus is in it. If you want to join us and really get to that next level, it should be posted right now. Very simple. Just let's get on a strategy session together. It's a free call. We map things out for you. What steps? It's together with me and one in my team. We map out exactly what steps you're going to take in order for you to get to that next level. Right? It doesn't cost anything. Just show up and we talk about it. Very simple. Very, very simple. I want us all to win. I know that I can't win alone. I constantly say this. If I could win, you want to know why I know I can't win alone? Because if I could do this alone, I would already be there. I talk to dancers all the time, dancers and non-dancers. They're like, yeah, but I don't think I need a coach. I don't think I need a community. And I tell them right now, I'm like, so why do you think you can do it? I can just do it alone, I can do it alone. Like, no, you can't. Because if you could do it alone, you would be there already.
Up to a certain level, you can do it alone. But like you said, if you want to get to next level, you need something extra. Someone to maybe not kick you in the ass, but push you a little bit harder. Because take out that extra 10% that you have, but you can do it.
Exactly. So that is constantly making sure to get to that next level, and that's what this is.
Betrayal, right, Sebastian? Because sometimes when you reach a certain level, you can betray yourself. Like I'm good enough.
I'm just
whatever,
enough.
But you think you're there, but sometimes you want to get here.
Exactly, and that is in all areas of life. It's like at some point you actually get to a spot of like, yeah, but you know what? Like I don't want to build more muscles. I don't want to do this thing. But there's still life. There's still more ways to get forward, right? So if you want to hear more about our 16-week inner circle thing that we got going on over here, let us know. Book a call. Let's get on a strategy session. Anybody have any questions right now? That's pretty much all I wanted to run over in today's class. If anybody have any questions, shoot them in the chat. If not, I want to know what has been the most helpful so far with this webinar. Take care, Ingrid. Don't even worry about it. Ciao, Pescao.
Feel free to unmute yourself, guys. If you wanna talk out instead of writing, or write. Up to you.
Up to you.
So who should book this call, Sebastian? Like if should anyone book this call, or is just like for people that are like really looking to
people
become professionals?
No. This is again in the inner circle. You have people who are some of the world's most professional dancers, people who want to become dancers, people who don't give a shit about dance, people who are in their late 50s who want to lose weight, people who want to become even better dancers, people who just want to love themselves more, people who want to grow some muscles, but everybody wants to become better. Everybody just wants to become better because the goal is the same, and the roadmap is like the principles are the same, but the roadmap is individual. That's what I wanted to say. Klaus is saying here that the most what he got the most out of. I want to know, guys, if I didn't say that out loud, like what has been the most helpful. Klaus is saying the most helpful is the solution for the 3 types and showing the types, so the awareness is growing. Fantastic. Raluca is saying the most helpful was recognizing the pattern, especially the just enough. The just enough is dangerous because that one sneaks up upon you. Larissa is saying make clear how you can get out of the types. Amazing session. Many thanks for sharing. Is there a specific program for dancers? I'm looking for something more into this. Yes, Alexa, it definitely is. You can use the same link that is posted here. David is going to post it again. Get on that. You're going to get on a call with me and one in my team, and we talk more about what is specifically made for you and your dancing goals, right? But great question. Emma is saying celebrating more the micro wins. Karina is saying realizing I'm not the type 1 though thought. Realizing I'm not the type I thought. Yo, we're like, you're probably flexitarian. You're probably like me. You're probably like me, it's just swinging. we are. It's like we're swinging. It's like one time we're on that, and it's like when it fits us, we're over here, and then jump. It's like
Chameleon. Eller?
chameleon. Thank you, chameleon.
The solutions were very helpful, Michelle said in a private message to me.
Nice.
She was probably meant to be for everyone.
Nice. She's saying that the message for me is to challenge myself and motivate myself to celebrate micro wins. Beautiful, beautiful. If you want to know more about celebrating micro wins, challenging yourself more, I wrote a whole ebook on this thing. It's called Mindful Self-Motivation. You can find it on my Instagram. And yeah, I think most of you guys are probably following me on Instagram since we are doing a lot of promotion there. If not, it's Sebastian_BeFit. You can find it there. The importance of celebrating daily wins, celebrating micro wins, but also something else that I missed. Remember to take 100% of your responsibility of your life. Ownership. Like, I'm so big in celebrating wins. Like, we have a lot of coaches that say, like, you know, a lot of success people are saying, like, never celebrate your wins. Like, never. Successful people don't celebrate their wins. They're like, no, fuck you. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? No, I'm not gonna celebrate. What are you talking about? What? Like, I'm not saying that you're gonna, oh yes, I lost weight. It's time to stop, celebrate my wins, eat a lot of chocolate, and then now I need to reboost my momentum. But you're celebrating micro wins. I did it. I'm awesome. Done next. Let's move on.
Just like every time you get a good comment in the community or something like this, like we see someone is like Susie posting like something motivating, and Linda is posting something. We don't always message back, or sometimes we just say like good job, but here behind we're like look at this stuff, look what Linda said, or like look at this, and we're just like, that's fucking awesome. And just celebrating, helping people, or whatever is in your life, whatever you want. Like it doesn't have to be big for you in particular, but there's something that is just awesome, just like to get that positive vibration going also, right?
Exactly.
Super important.
Exactly, and that's what we say is like, we're gonna round up, guys. I see a lot of people need to bounce, and we try to hold this under an hour, which we usually fail. So, but I do my best every time. But like, if you don't celebrate your wins, then you're just gonna get caught in this. We all have these successful people. We all know these hyper successful people that just feel like shit. And it's like, that's the worst type of success. The worst type of success is success that doesn't mean anything. Success that you never celebrate. You got all of this money in the bank, or you're such a high level dancer, or you are so fill in the blanks, and you're not feeling accomplished up here. And trust me when I say that, and I'll say this I like at such a humble way. Like, there is few trainers in the world when it comes to dancing who is working with the amount of high level dancers that I've worked with. But trust me, some of these people are the most like non-happy, non-self, like never celebrating their wins, constantly next, never living in the now, constantly moving on to the next. I've trained influencers with hundreds and thousands of followers, and they hate their life. But on Instagram, life is beautiful. Life is on a beach, life is happy. That's the worst, that's the biggest curse. I believe that to be the biggest curse there is. Celebrate your micro wins. Write them up. Own it. Own the things that you've done, the wins and the losses. Don't betray yourself and say you're only winning. Come on. Don't betray yourself and say that you're only losing, because that's not true. If we don't have any questions, familia, I'm going to leave you guys to it. And awesome. Thank you for this. Hope it seems like you got a lot out of it. it seems like we got a lot out of this call. Book the call. If you're watching this, and if you haven't get on a strategy session and you're interested in learning more, you're interested in joining us in the inner circle, if you're interested in celebrating wins, joining a community of like-minded people, jump on that call. All right? Again, doesn't cost anything. You have nothing to lose. We have a thing that we're gonna do. I'm gonna say, we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna put on my phone. I'm gonna say buy the answers, and you're gonna say for the answers, right? Which is our slogan. It's pretty cheesy, I know, but we've been doing it since day one. We're just gonna keep on doing it, right? However, before I do all of these social media pretty things, I just want to say probably the same thing I always do, but I feel it's very important. I just want to say, everybody turn on your camera. Turn on your camera real quick so I can actually see your faces. Turn on your camera so I can see your faces. Let me see here. What's up, Lucy? I didn't even see you before. What's good? Nanda also. Yo, everybody's here. I didn't even see you. What's good? Alexa, what's happening? Yvette, what's going on over in Panama? Chilling. Isabel, what's happening? Yo, I want to say, and this is before I go on Instagram, I just want to say, like, fucking thank you. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. Thank you for giving me a moment of just diving into my own brain and just expressing and giving me a moment and a platform to be able to do this, all right? I absolutely love my life. I wouldn't change this shit for anything, and I wouldn't be able to live this life without each and every single one here watching, right? So thank you for being fucking amazing. And thank you for letting me be me, all right? You're awesome. Appreciate you. Now, enough with this softness. I was about to cry there for a moment, you know what I mean? Imagine coach don't cry. Come on, fam, coach don't cry. I almost had a moment there. Here we go. Familia, everybody unmute yourself. Everybody unmute yourself. Let me see. Where can I unmute you? Allow participants to unmute. Let's give this a shot. All right, everybody unmute yourself. I'm gonna say bye dancers, you're gonna say for dancers, and then we're ending this thing called this webinar. All right, familia, that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. Like I said earlier, I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Remember, as always, bye dancers. For dancers, fantastic. Thank you so much. Ciao.
Ciao. Thank you.
Yo, thank you. I appreciate you. Ciao.